All right, guys. So this is an unexpected one. Heading to Tampa right now to pick up a Banshee. I know. A couple of you guys out there probably be like, why he getting a Banshee? He got a Honda. And he already got a Banshee. This is a deal that I couldn't refuse. The whole story, how it goes is, the guy hit me up last night. I got an ad on Facebook Marketplace right now. I'm trying to build bikes and build motors, get my name out there. Since I have built this first bike, I feel like I did so well that I could start building motors myself. So yeah, I put an ad up just for ish and giggles to see if I could get some customers. But this guy hit me up and he was like, hey, could you build my motor? He sent me a picture of the motor. Top end had rust, and he was trying to get an estimate on me on how much the parts would be. Banshees are expensive to build, and he was like, man, he really not trying to do all that because the frame needs a lot of work. It's a lot of other stuff that needs work on this bike. So he was like, hey, I could just give it to you for $1,500. Man, I'm looking like, really? I'm like, really, $1,500? If you guys may know, the people out there in the Banshee world, the frame alone is going for $1,500. So when you throw in a motor and all this other stuff, I could just throw a top end on this bike and resell it. If everything checks out on the bottom end, I'm probably gonna do that. Maybe resell it, or I'll sell some of the parts on it, get my money back that I spent on it. And I'm really not taking a loss in this situation at all, because I could just take some of the parts off of that bike and sell it and make the money that I spent on the bike right back, and just keep the frame and the motor and rebuild the motor and make it a backup motor. You see what I'm saying? So I might do that, or I might sell it. I'm in between the two. This is probably a project that's not going to be started until after I finish my Honda. But when stuff come up like this, you have to hop on it. Especially if you're a hobbyist and you're a Banshee person or you're a quad person, you have to hop on it, because this is something that really doesn't happen often. You know what I mean? People selling frames for $1,500. People selling motors for $2,500, and most of the time they take the flywheel and the stator off. I believe this motor has an OEM flywheel and an OEM stator. See what I'm saying? So this is actually an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So yeah, that's where we heading right now. We heading to Tampa to pick this up right after work. So I'm supposed to meet the guy around 6 o'clock. And yeah. So you guys stay tuned. Next time you see this video, it will be the Banshee in the back. Spoiler alert, it's not what you think it is. It's really a project. But yeah, everything's there besides the top end to get this thing going. So, and he also is going to throw in an extra set of wheels for $100 for me. So that's another thing I could resell easily for about $400 bucks. But yeah, you guys stay tuned. Like I said, next time you see me, I will be in front of that Banshee. All right, so we got the Banshee. The guy just pulled off now. I didn't feel comfortable putting him on camera. But yeah, as you can see, it's a lot of work that need to be done to this. But everything looks to be on the frame. The frame looks to be straight. A couple resellable parts on here. I'm gonna take some of this off, get it rebuilt. We got not a brand new, but a used motor, of course, in here. OEM carburetors. But yeah, we're gonna go through this. The gears switch gears the gears switch gears smooth, and there's no case crack on this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open this up, and we're gonna send it out to vapor blast. Get that looking good. Probably get those cylinders rebuilt. But yeah, project 2 is here. Like I said, I'm probably just gonna keep the parts as backup, or I'm gonna resell this thing once I'm done with it. Shouldn't be as much to put into it, but for what I spent on it, it's a good deal. So yeah, y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna pull it out when I get home, go over it a little bit more. We got it home. Couldn't help myself. I already started tearing it apart. Completely forgot about the video. Sorry about that, guys. But we got it home. Inspected it a little bit. Most of the stuff is surface rust. I might need to get this frame re-welded in a couple spots, but no big deal. And that swing arm bolt came out no problem. So that's one thing I was thinking about on my whole ride here. That swing arm bolt, I know people have nightmares about that. Sometimes you get lucky and it slid out. In this case, it did slide out. We got some old work suspension. I might send these out to get them rebuilt. Like I said, this is just, I might just keep this for backup parts. Like obviously the frame, everything else will be up for sale. So I don't know if anyone wants these A arms. They're kind of rusty. That swing arm is definitely getting sold. I might keep the axle because I believe that is a Lone Star axle. It looks like a Lone Star axle, so I might keep that axle. OEM rear plastics, they're getting sold as well. Gas tank and OEM radiator, they're getting sold. These tires, they're getting sold. If anybody wants them, let me know. I'm selling everything for dirt cheap. These DC pipes, they're a little damaged. They're getting sold for dirt cheap. If anybody want those. Got a lot of good parts still on this frame. We got an OEM coil here. This stuff was sitting outside for 7 years, so I don't know if half of this electrical stuff works, you know, being exposed to that weather. But all right, guys, so I just had to pause the video. It's a couple items that I forgot to mention that also will be sold. So those front brakes, they will be sold. The rear brakes will be sold. The sprocket hub will be sold. The rotor hub will be sold, and the full braking system will be sold. So the cylinders, the reservoir, the brake line, the rear brake, all that will be sold together. The OEM throttle will be sold. The Pro Taper bars will be sold. That steering stem also will be sold. The wiring harness will be sold. Whether it works or not, I have to test that out. That flywheel will be sold. That's not an OEM one. That's the only reason why I'm selling it. Hopefully I have an OEM stator in there. You guys will see that later in this video. And I know it looks like a rust bucket right now, but when I show you guys the motor, you'll see when I open that clutch case up where the value came in and why I paid for this thing. And also another thing, when I'm selling these parts, they're all going to be for dirt cheap, because I understand that most of these parts either have to be rebuilt or repainted. So you guys let me know in the comment section if you guys want some of these parts. It's going to be on sale. So y'all let me know. Y'all enjoy the rest of the video, and y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all be easy. It might still work. You know, I have to test everything out. Most of the stuff on this frame is still on here. So, you know, in some cases these are broke off, but they're still on here. So this is basically an OEM frame. So if I really wanted to rebuild this, it could just be an OEM rebuild. This steering stem is getting took off and sold as well. So I'm gonna start getting my money back to what I bought it. I'm gonna rebuild those carburetors as well and get those sold. There's a lot of parts on here that can be sold. I might end up keeping that. They don't sell those no more. That whole swing arm guard there, and get it repainted or something. Of course, that rear OEM shock is probably gonna get sold. I'm gonna keep these work shocks because they look pretty sweet to me. I'm gonna get these rebuilt later down the line. But yeah, so that's about it. Oh yeah, and the motor, I'm gonna skip right to that after this video. So yeah, I'm gonna get this swing arm off and probably get these A arms off. So the hard part is finished, getting this swing arm loose, but we're gonna tear this whole thing down today to a frame. All right, so we got the motor. Now this is why I bought this Banshee for. A lot of you guys might say like, dang, you bought some trash, but this motor, as you can see, it doesn't even have a chain whack. It's not an OEM stator, I mean an OEM flywheel, but maybe an OEM stator in there. And not complaining too much about that, because like I said, some of them don't even come with that on there at all. But yeah, we're gonna open up this clutch side and see how it looks on the inside. Of course, I might need a new top end. I might get these, depending on what crank in there. I might get them sent out. These look like maybe 64s. But yeah. So I'm gonna get this clutch case off, and I'm gonna come back to you guys. Okay guys, so we got the clutch side off. Doesn't look too bad. Of course it has the rattle. I'm really hoping that stator is OEM, but everything else looks good in here. All the gears look to be good. So yeah, not too bad. Let's see if I can turn on the flashlight for you guys. Look like we have a lot of OEM components. Nothing really aftermarket in here. Don't look like they got the shift start mod. Now I can't really tell if that's a shift start mod or not. Maybe it is the shift start mod. I can't really tell. They don't look like they opened the window up at all for better shifting. Still has the OEM basket. Of course, that's gonna be changed. This looks to be in good shape too. So that's a good sign. If this is looking good, 9 times out of 10, that transmission is gonna be in good shape. So of course I'm gonna take all this out, take it apart, and maybe get it sent out to be rebuilt. Not the engine, the crank. And of course I'm gonna throw new pistons in here and get this whole case vapor blasted, change this out. Most of the components on the motors is already on here. What I need, I'm hoping that stator is OEM. That way I can just throw a OEM flywheel on here, or I just use that one. But yeah, if not, I just do Ricky stator. I'm really worried about taking these bolts out though. That's a project for another day. But yeah, not too bad for $1,500. We got all this. Yeah, we got all this in here. Of course, a clutch case. We got the cylinders that need to be completely gone through. I don't know if these are savable. They might be savable. Yeah, they might be savable. And over here, this box also came with it. But you have all brand new intake boots. If you guys know, these Cascade cases are really expensive. This is $200 alone for those Cascade cases. We got a whole OEM carburetor rebuild kit. We got, look like a Tuss axle nut in here that I already have. We have a lot of stuff in here, brand new brakes. All this stuff I'm just gonna keep for backup. It's good to keep this stuff for backup. Well, yeah, we got a new ignition or starter in here with the key. So that's pretty cool. Got a boost bottle. We got a Pro Design cool head here. Could get redone. We got some old reeds, look like the OEM reeds. We got some domes right here. I don't know what size these are. Yeah, I can't really tell what size these are. These look like, yeah, this doesn't say the size. But I'm not gonna be reusing them anyway, so. Yeah, hopefully we got the OEM stator. This will be a steal if it does. So with that in the frame, all the other parts will be sold. I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep that rear axle though. That is a Lone Star axle. I'm gonna throw that on the Banshee, on my other Banshee, my main Banshee. So yeah, you guys stay tuned. I'm gonna be doing updates on this later down in this year. A lot of content is coming. I'm just getting myself deeper and deeper in other stuff and deeper in my pockets, but this one will pay off. I think I can get to make the money back real quick. But yeah, like I said, you guys like, comment, subscribe. And you already know, if you ain't biking, you ain't lifing, man. Y'all be easy.